So let's put these trig equations into good use to simplify some trig expressions. So why don't we start off with how about sine of 2x over cosine of x. So initially, at first glance, this doesn't look like anything can simplify, right? But remember our double angle formula, sine of 2x equals 2 sine x cos x. So we can change this numerator here to 2 sine x cos x over cos x. Now it looks like something can simplify. We can cross off the cos x here and the cos x there, and that's 2 sine x. So this simplified is actually 2 sine x. Let's try another. How about sine to the fourth of x minus cos to the fourth of x, and then all over cos of 2x. Alright, this one's a tougher one. So let's first factor the numerator. Remember that like a to the fourth minus b to the fourth can be factored into a squared plus b squared, a squared minus b squared, because that's a difference of squares. So we can write the numerator as sine squared x plus cos squared x sine squared minus x minus cos squared x all over cos 2x. Now remember, we've got another, our most essential formula here, the sine squared x plus cos squared x. That's just equal to 1. So we can replace this with 1 here. So that's 1 times sine squared x minus cos squared x all over cos 2x, which is just sine squared x minus cos squared x over cos 2x. Now, this can't really be simplified that much, but we can we can write an expression for our cos 2x here. Remember, cos 2x equals cos squared x minus sine squared x. So that's sine squared x minus cos squared x over cos squared x minus sine squared x. Now this looks like we should be able to cancel something. Actually not just yet. We need to factor out a negative. So equals negative cos squared x minus sine squared x over cos squared x minus sine squared x. Because the negative distributes over to the cosine to make negative cosine, and then to the negative sine to make positive sine. So now, so now this simplifies to just, if we cancel, that's like negative 1 over 1, which is just negative 1. So this expression that looks like it can't be simplified anymore actually simplifies to negative 1 once we use our trig formulas on it. So that's kind of the use of these trig formulas. They can take trig expressions that are seemingly kind of ugly, doesn't look like it can simplify, and then make it turn into something much more elegant. Yeah, just simplifies life a lot if you can use those to your advantage.